Let me ask a quick question. Which do you think kills more people globally each year? Is it malaria or terrorism? If you guessed terrorism, you are not alone. But the reality is that malaria, which is a mosquito-borne disease, kills hundreds of thousands of people annually, which is far more than what terrorism does. So the question is, why do so many of us overestimate the threat of terrorism? This is what we call availability bias. Terrorism is a frequent subject in the news with dramatic and shocking coverage that sticks in our minds because the stories are so vivid and they are easily recalled. So what do? We start to believe that terrorism is a bigger threat than it actually is. Meanwhile, malaria, despite its deadly impact, doesn't receive nearly as much attention in the media, so it doesn't feel as immediate or as threatening. Let's consider another good example. Think about the fear of flying. Many people are more afraid of being in a plane crash than a car accident. Yet, statistically, air travel is far safer than driving. This fear is another example of availability bias. Plane crashes, though rare, are highly publicized, making them seem more dramatic and common and scarier than they are. In contrast, car accidents, which happen far more frequently, don't get the same level of media coverage. So what do? We tend to underestimate the risk of driving and overestimate the risk of flying. How does this apply to us as individuals? Some of the decisions that we make, we tend to make them using availability bias. We use the information that is more available to us, that is more present in our mind, rather than use fact and figures to guide our decisions. And if we do this more often, we tend to make more faulty decisions than we should. There are a lot of biases, and availability bias isn't the only cognitive trap that we fall into. I want us to look at another example, which is confirmation bias. Once you have a belief, whether it's the belief that terrorism is a huge global threat or that flying is dangerous, we start seeking out information that supports this belief. We focus on news stories or statistics that reinforce our fears, and we kind of ignore or downplay those ones that contradict them. So this creates a feedback loop where our initial belief gets stronger even if it is not grounded in reality. How do we combat these biases? The first step is awareness. By recognizing that our brains are wired to focus on what's most visible and to seek out information that confirms our beliefs, we can begin to question our assumptions and look at the bigger picture. So the next time you're making a decision, ask yourself, am I responding to the fact or just what's most memorable, what is in front of me? Am I using confirmation bias or availability bias to make my decisions? Because by doing this, by being aware, by asking yourself these questions, you would be able to reduce the tendencies of those biases, and you most likely will be making more informed and balanced decisions as you go on. If you like this video and you want to understand more about behavioral sciences and how you can use it to influence yourself to do more and influence others to win more cooperation, please do like, share, subscribe, and I would like to see you in the next one.